welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to support my daily Eternal Magic offerings while getting amazing perks like the BoshNRoll Discord community, have me play your deck on the channel, or listen sideboard guides before tournaments, check out the Patreon or YouTube membership program. This channel is possible because of these amazing sponsors. Check them out, all their links are in the video description. As always, thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic.
Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing Legacy, and at the request of Patreon subscriber Titania, this is a Brew challenge that resulted in Simic Cloudpost. Decks come to me from people in a variety of ways. Some people send me their pet project that they've been tuning and tweaking for years, and hyper dialed in, comes with a full primer, and they know exactly what they want to see. Other times it's less specific than that. The extent of the interactions in planning this league for the channel is Titania told me I'd like to see Kozilek's Command and Snapcaster Mage in the same deck. And then a couple weeks later, I said, Ugin is going to come out soon. Would you like to see that in the deck? And that was it. From there, I was left to my own devices. Snapcaster Mage, Kozilek's Command, and I had promised an appearance of Ugin, Eye of Storms. I tried for a while to build kind of a blue Tron shell. That's something you can do in Modern. It's been played and extended and standard over the years. Even Pauper on this very channel. You've seen blue Tron multiple times. But Wasteland is a big problem. And then I remembered there's already an archetype in the format that has kind of solved this shell already, which is Cloudpost. The Cloudpost, Urza's Tower, Planar Nexus, Trifecta, very powerful. Crop Rotation to bring it together. Crop Rotation also gives you tech lands like Pajuka Bog and Caracas. And I threw a Mistrized Village in here as a treat. And I borrowed a lot of the core components from True Futurism's take on Selesnya Post, but I just turned it into Simic Post instead. For Disruptor Flute in the main makes a ton of sense. You're worried about Wasteland as a deck like this anyway, and Disruptor Flute is a deck I've been putting in basically all of my decks lately because Show and Tell is so powerful. This is a great way to slow them down, stop them from casting the Show and Tell in the first place, because once they cast it, you're probably not winning that fight anymore. Karn's Silex. This is a Pernicious Deed that's also kind of a Blood Moon. 3-mana legendary artifact enters tapped. Players can't pay life to cast spells or to activate abilities that aren't mana abilities. That means no fetch lands, no Force of Will, and I'm sure there are other things too. Dismember comes to mind. But fetch lands and Force of Will, big game. And then X tap, exile this, destroy each non-land permanent with mana value X or less, activate as a sorcery. Sweeping up little things, locking out fetch lands, protecting you from Force of Will, all powerful things. The One Ring, just one of the best things to do with mana in the format, and our deck's full of mana. Those are all just Cloudpost things. I did not think of those. What I did do is put Snapcaster Mage in the deck, which can snap back Kozilek's Command or Crop Rotation, or stock up. That's a good blue card if you have a lot of mana. It's also worth snapping if we've got time. Ugin, Eye of the Storms, relatively new card. When you cast the spell, exile up to one target permanent that's one or more colors. And whenever you cast a colorless spell, exile up to one target permanent that's one or more colors. Just removal right on top of this thing. And then it also has Planeswalker abilities. Plus to gain 3 life, draw a card. 0, add 3 colorless. And -11, search your library for any number of colorless non-land cards. Then shuffle. Until end of turn, you may cast those cards without paying their mana cost. Important, it says you may cast those cards, which means you get the cast triggers off Emrakul and Ulamog. And the colorless non-land cards in this deck are Flute, Signet, Silex, Binding, One Ring, other Ugins, Ulamog, Emrakul, Kozilek's Command. It doesn't just cast the Planeswalker or the big Eldrazi. You get all of these other stupid pieces too. Which brings me to Ugin's Binding, a card that was very exciting off the Modern Horizons 3 spoiler, then did not do anything in any format. But if it has a home, this is it. 3-mana bounce spell, not very good. Return target online permanent you don't control to its owner's hand. But when you cast a colorless spell with mana value 7 or greater, you may exile this from your graveyard, and when you do, bounce all non-land permanents you don't control. That is uncounterable, happens on cast, and is a nice way to catch up on the turn you cast your Ugin or Ulamog, or even just Kozilek's Command for X=5 will do it. And that is how I got to this situation. I hope it's dope. Ugin seems really powerful. Stock up is already proven. The Cloudpost shell is already proven. Let's hope it all works together. Let's get in. This is Simic Post from Titania. announcing the Buffalo Chicken Dip Legacy Win-A-Mox weekend in Columbus, Ohio. Saturday, August 2nd, the BCDL Legacy Open 4, a Mox Jet for first and dual lands for top 8 guaranteed, with more duels and staples added down to 24th place if the event gets 100 players. Sunday, August 3rd, Stronghold Mox Diamond for first, dual lands for top 4, and Force of Wills for top 8 guaranteed, with prizes scaling up at 48 and 55 players. Both events are unlimited proxy playtest card friendly. Anyone can play. Please review the playtest card policy on the event pages. Signups and additional details are linked in the video description or included in a full post in my YouTube community tab. I'll be there. I hope to see you too. I'm on the play in round 1. This hand does not do anything. I'm going to mulligan it. Here we go. 2 posts and a Silex. And stuff to do. The Emrakul is awkward, but I have to put something on the bottom, and it will be her. Keep, and she's out of here. Hey, this one doesn't do anything big on turn 2. If I draw a Planar Nexus, I could play card Silex. Otherwise, I'm just waiting for the One Ring. And we'll see what happens in the meantime. When you're a deck like this, you really want to see... Okay, I'm getting Thoughtseize. You really want to see slow, fair decks. Like whether it's blue or non-blue, just somebody taking their sweet time. Decks I normally like to play. You want to see Uros, you want to see Planeswalkers, because you're going to run them over time. You don't really want to see hyperfast combo, but the deck does have a lot of tools for that. Taking the Silex, okay. This could be Dimir Tempo, that's just worried about getting... Okay, that was actually a good draw. Could be Dimir Tempo that's just worried about getting Pernicious Deeded at some point, or it could be some sort of advanced combo deck that they're worried about Grizzlebrand, or... I don't think this stops Reanimate, because that's not a payment, it's an effect of the spell. Oh, we're Bug. Is this Bug Beans? Oh, yeah. This is exactly what you want to see. This is a Wasteland deck that I have to be aware of. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. Just casting the One Ring. If they have the Force, they have the Force. But this is what my hand does. Okay, Force, pitching Spell Pierce. And if they do draw Wasteland, I could Crop Rotate in response. Shuffle away or flip out the card that they're targeting with Waste and replace it with the same card or something better. Got a Brainstorm from the opponent. If they have an engine up, which is the up the beanstalk, and I don't currently have an engine. Kozilek's Command is not bad, though. Gives me options. Okay, they're fetching. Let's see if they get a Surveil land. I'll probably Kozilek's Command in this end step. They are a Murktide Regent deck. Oh, they're not worried about my Signet? That's weird. I'm going to command to scry and make homies. I'm not going to fight their graveyard. All right, wow, look at these cards. Am I just going to keep all 4 on top? I think I am. Okay. Top, 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 top. I've never seen that happen before. Okay. I've got a pair of Crop Rotations. I can pay for days. I have lots of Eldrazi spawns. I don't really want a Crop Rotation because that shuffles away my stock ups. All right, Murktide Regent. Could have played around that by exiling the graveyard, but I'm just trying to outmuscle stuff like this. I'm not trying to play around it. Draw a stock up here. And Signet into stock up. This will see stock up, the Disruptor Flute, and a bunch more cards. Ulamog Planar Nexus. How far does that go? Karn Silex really good here. I don't think I'm in the Disruptor Flute business. I want Silex. And like if I think... I guess I just need stock up here. I have mana. That's not my problem. All right. Ulamog to the bottom. Sorry to see that Planar Nexus go, but gotta do what you gotta do. I'm gonna play Silex, leaving up a green for Crop Rotation. They have to fetch in response. This turns off Force of Will. Oh, sick. All right. Now what? I can Crop Rotate Forest into something juicy. Or I can play stock up and see what's going on. All right, I'm going to stock up. I can still pay for Spell Pierce. They showed me 1 already. I think I still have my land drop this turn. Yeah, I do. Which is good because these are all lands. Ursa's Tower gives me something worth Crop Rotating into, the Planar Nexus. And I probably want Mistrise Village, just to make sure my stuff works. Okay. These ones to the bottom. And then I'll play Tower first. and then rotate away Forest for Planar Nexus? Or is Eye of Ugin better here? I had a plan. Now I'm not convinced on it. Yeah, they can't Spell Pierce because they can't fetch. They could Daze twice, but I could pay for 2 Dazes here. All right, so 3, 6, or 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm ready to activate Eye of Ugin over here. But I could also just get Planar Nexus, spin into Eye of Ugin, and go nuts all at once. Yeah, I'm just going to stop here. You've got a 7/7. They didn't fetch in response, which is really interesting. Either didn't understand the full implication of Karn Silex or have a plan to beat it. They just said in the chat they didn't check that Silex shuts down fetches. Yep. We got a free Stone Rain, along with whatever else is happening. I can also just Silex for 7 next turn, clear the board, and get back to work. That kills Murktide, Beanstalk, and Simic Signet. Opponent cycled, Lorien revealed. Fatal Push. I'll float a mana. You got me. We're going into combat. I'll take my beats. And I'm just going to go to my turn. There's nothing clever to do here. 3, 6, 7. I could pop Silex for 7. That unlocks their fetch land, but does take the pressure off. The alternative is crop rotation for a big doofus. Can I lose in a reasonable sequence here? I can also make crop rotation uncounterable. If they play Bowmaster, I'm at 3. If they play Bowmaster, ponder, exile their graveyard somewhere, I could die this turn cycle. I'm going to play Mysterized Village. I'm setting up the Eye of Ugin line, because I can also crop rotate for Glimmer Post if I just need 4 life all of a sudden. They played a second Murktide Regent. This grows the first one to 9 power. Daze is the only interaction they can have here. I go to 4. Wasteland is a card they could have. I hope they don't main deck a Consigned to Memory or a Stifle. That would actually be pretty solid. Okay, end of turn. Counting mana. I guess I'll just tap it all and then count it. 9. Simic Signet. 10. This is enough to... I activate Mysterized Village. I have 9 mana left. 1 for Crop Route. Okay, this is enough. Next spell can't be countered. Crop Rotation is going to burn off, I guess, Tropical Island, which means I should float an extra 1. Crop Rotation, away the Trop, get Eye of Ugin, activate it, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 mana. If Bojuka Bog entered untapped, I would have Emrakul here. Let me just make super sure. Yeah, I'm 1 short of Emrakul, and I don't want to risk it. I'll just take Ulamog and get my Ulamog trigger on. Kozilek's Command, sweet. This is more than I actually need to tap, because Eye of Ugin's in play. I lose the Stifle here. Sick. I could have made that uncounterable. Yeah, if they force... They can't force. What could they even do? I don't even know. Alright. I'll play Bojuka Bog, target their empty graveyard. There's 1 mana floating, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I think I'm going to command here. Target player makes, spawns, scries X. Doing this before Bowmaster can get me. I am going to play around Daze, because that is a card that exists. There's not a lot of cards that have that matter anymore, but Daze is one of them. All right, next is Karakas Tower. Karakas can bounce and replay Ulamog every turn. Tower lets me... I can't quite activate and play all at once. Okay. Bottom, bottom, top. I will keep the Karakas. Okay, passing the turn. I feel like we're over the hump, but we'll see. Bowmaster, Witherbloom command is 4 direct damage. Shieldred's Edict. And sack a non-token. Oh no. Well, that works. Tamio's in. Alright, just gonna have to Eye of Ugin up something else. Planar Nexus. That is worth a bunch of extra mana here. Okay, Nexus. Can I get there? This is 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. You need 22 to get Emrakul. All right. I will do it on the slow and Emrakul them next turn. Kaito into Bowmaster would kill me here. I'm just naming cards that could conceivably result in losing, even if it's unlikely. Bargain. We'll find out soon if they can outvalue an Emrakul. It's actually infinite Emrakuls because I can take my extra turn, attack, annihilate, bounce Emrakul, replayer. We are in the end game. They played another land that's not Wasteland. I feel like they've seen 2/3 of their deck and haven't found a Wasteland yet. I'm not convinced Wasteland matters much at this point, but it's interesting they haven't even found one. They can't have Kaito and Bowmaster here. I've also never seen Kaito and Bug Beans. They're just being thorough. Perhaps more thorough than necessary. Ponder. This is 2 draws for Tamio. Though I am not worried about this Planeswalker, I'm going to be honest. Oh, wait, they triggered Beans this turn. Nope, that is 3. My bad. Lost track of that. Still not worried about this Planeswalker, though. And Murktide. They are putting lethal on board, but it's not going to be enough. Right now, they're probably just hoping that I don't play Emrakul, but I do. Bonk. All right, they're just packing it to the Emrakul. Sweet. Crushing Inevitability. I put Hull Breachers in the sideboard specifically for decks like Bug Beans. Like, we saw them Fatal Push a Eldrazi Spawn that game just to get a spell in the graveyard. If they don't expect pushable things, Hull Breacher could be a big trick. I'm not that worried about their graveyard. I'm not interested in Dismember. It's Hull Breacher and maybe some number of carpets. Ugin's Binding is very strong versus Murktide. They are a Wasteland deck. I think I'm going to shave 1 Binding, keep 1 in. And they're a Wasteland deck, but that's the only card I would name, and they probably have 3 Wastelands, not 4. But they do have Witherbloom Command. Yeah, I'll take my chances with just 3. Is Carpet of Flowers better than Simic Signet? Simic Signet can turn on colors I don't have already. Carpet, if I have the green to start the carpet, I would rather have that. Interesting conundrum. I don't have that many starting green sources in the deck. Alright, I'm not going to bring in Carpet here. I'll definitely bring it in against Delver, like a 4 Wasteland dedicated land destruction tempo strategy. Okay, I have Disruptor Flute here. Slow but steady mana. If they have Wasteland in their opener, I would prefer to lead on Planar Nexus. If they don't have Wasteland in their opener, I'd prefer to lead on Cloudpost. I think I'm going to lead on Nexus and try to get where I'm going. Underground Sea, Ponder, cool. That's the least scary of the 1-drops they could play between Thoughtseize, Tamio, and Ponder. Deal. Ponder shuffles. I'm going to play Planar Nexus. I'm just trying to hedge against Wasteland in the opener. Don't want it to completely collapse my hand when I can turn it off next turn. Brainstorm. Ooh, they missed a land drop. Oh no, they just went to second main. Man, Moto opponent's got to stop tricking me with that. Okay, since they didn't play Wasteland last turn, I'm going to take this opportunity to develop around Daze. And then next turn, I can stock up or flute around Daze, and either way, I've already gone past the Wasteland. It's just a bunch of lands that aren't Wasteland. If they have a Harbinger of the Seas, that would be a bummer. Please don't fetch basic Swamp here. Show me a Tropical Island. Ooh, Hedge Maze. A tap land. Oh, they're going Turbo Murktide. That's what's happening. Yeah, this is just a fast 5/5. Fast 5, Fast Furious. Glimmer Post. I could just cast the One Ring this turn if I'm willing to deploy Glimmer Post. Or I could Disruptor Flute. I could just hold up Disruptor Flute even. Alright, I am going to just pass. I think I have to actually turn off Wasteland though. I'm invested at this point. We're locked in. Force Pitching Force. That was worth a counter to them. Did they sandbag a Wasteland this long? Or are they just planning for a world where they draw one in the future? Regardless, I'm taking 5 right now. Ponder. That can dig for Wastelands. Did not shuffle. And did not waste me. Cool. I like all of those outcomes. Glimmer Post gains me 4 life. Undoes most of that Murktide hit. And then I can play the One Ring while leaving up Hull Breacher. Force of Negation, pitching, bargain. Okay. In that case, I will stock up. I think it's more important to load up here. There's Ugin and multiple posts. Ugin's a cast trigger, so as long as I can get him on the stack, we're good. I think I want Cloudpost. I shouldn't need to gain life if I can get the spell on the stack. Okay, shipping it. I go back down to 14. When I play against Post decks, Glimmer Post is one of the most low-key frustrating cards. Because tempoing them out is one of the game plans you can take. And then their ability to just passively gain 5 to 7 life. Annoying. Witherbloom command, destroy target thing, mill 3, they hit Forest Bayou Mystery. Okay. That does not take me off colors because Planar Nexus can filter. Cloudpost, 5, 6, 7. Ka-chow! Exile that Murktide. And I would like to gain 3 life and draw a card. Emrakul's a good one. And now anytime I cast a colorless spell, I get to exile a permanent. So just like Kozilek's command X equals 0, kills Murktide, Beanstalk, Bowmaster, whatever they got. Alright. That works. Children's Edict. And they found a Wasteland. So lucky. Okay, they fended off that wave, but I am way ahead right now. The Eye of Ugin. How much mana do I actually have? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, I'm going to pass with access to Crop Rotation and Hull Breacher. Please cast Brainstorm. Please cast Brainstorm. Boring. Okay, end of turn. Filter. Why am I doing it like that? Filter a green. I guess I'll make a bunch more just in case. Crop Rotate Glimmer Post into Cloudpost. We got the GGs already. Yeah, now we're just chatting. I'm going to cast spells while we're chatting in case they don't actually concede. They asked what I would name with Disruptor Flute, and I told them I was going to name Wasteland. Alright, well, here we go. Bottom. This is going to be another keep everything on top situation. Top, 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 top. 4, 8. Ulamog. Exile your Underground Seas. I'm holding up Hull Breacher or Stock Up. And we're out of here. Alright, yeah, beating up grindy blue deck in round 1. This is basically what we're looking for. I would prefer one that doesn't have Wasteland, Thoughtseize. Like, I think Bug Beans is among the best positioned of the grindy control decks against a deck like this, but we're still pretty happy with the matchup. On to the next one. The BoshNRoll channel is brought to you by Tales of Adventure. TOAMagic.com has almost 100,000 unique cards in stock. They offer free track shipping on every order, plus next day or 2-day options when you have an event coming up fast. They offer on-site pickup at major Magic events throughout the US, so you're never scrambling before your tournament. Stop by their booth to buy, sell, or trade at upcoming regional championships, Magic Con, Spotlight Series, and more. I love their selection of individually scanned high-end cards that show you exactly what you're buying. And the best part is saving 5% on every order with promo code BOSH. From Ancestral Recall to Zombie Master, get what you need quickly and in one place at TOAMagic.com. Eternal lives here. I'm on the play in round 2 versus a Yorion Sky Nomad strategy. My hand's pretty clunky, but I'm not out on it. I will keep. And I'm going to lead on Cloudpost. Yorion decks usually have Wasteland in them, whether it's Death and Taxes or like big honkin' blue deck. Either way, they tend to play Wasteland. But they also have 80 cards, and I gotta do something. Either Vial. So that rules out big honkin' blue deck. It could be Esper Vial or Death and Taxes from here. Death and Taxes does tend to play large quantities of the White Orchid Phantom. Thalia, Guardian of Thraben. If I choose to play around this, what does that look like? I can Crop Rotate, or I can just not. Alright, I'm going to wait on Crop Rotation. Karn Silex. Wish I had not waited on Crop Rotation. Now that card's actually good. Okay. Urza's Tower, go in, and now I actually have something worth rotating for. I kind of hope they Wasteland me this turn. Let me get a value Crop Rot. Karakas. File on 2 is such a beating. Oh, I think I should have played Bajuka Bog last turn. That's a thing I'm more happy to rotate away. Oh, they bought Yorion already. Early and often. Okay. I am going to rotate away Tropical Island for Planar Nexus. That is another green source if I need it. And I hope they don't violin the White Orchid Phantom here. Cool. Got away with it. Glimmer Post gains me 3 life. And then I can play Silex. Silex can be answered by a large number of things that they do in fact play, like Skyclave Apparition or Witch Enchanter. If I get to my turn and can pop it for 3, I'm going to have a stable board to play on. Oh, if prismatic ending doesn't work, we did it. Ding, 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 ding. Heck yeah. All right, it's done something, even if it doesn't do everything. Okay, we made it to my turn. The One Ring. That card's good. All right, it's time to turn this beast around. 3 mana, bust Silex for 3. I'm going 3 just to make sure nothing can come out of Aether Vial that's going to ruin my life. They didn't bounce to save their Thalia. The One Ring. This fetch land, black is usually the fetch color, or the secondary color. And yeah, I'll get this Bojuka Bog in at this point. Might as well. And if they fetch this Prismatic Vista, I'm going to draw a card in response. And if they don't, I'll just draw a card in their end step. So 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Still pretty far from Emrakul. 15's a big number. Oh, Mountain. Am I going to get Magus of the Moon? I am. Well, that's shitty. Okay, this suddenly is an issue. I was hoping for the Black Splash. They did a good job hiding that they're a red deck for a while. Ugin can answer that over time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That actually inserts the next turn. That's not even bad. Man, Ugin killing Blood Moon and Magus of the Moon. I hadn't even thought of that. Nice. Okay. Thalia. Oh no, that's actually good. Why is that good? Okay. I take some damage from the ring. Another Silex. I'll take that. That also kills Magus of the Moon. Alright, this isn't so bad. Not nearly as bad as I originally thought. Silex, get in. And I'm not going to tap the ring. This escalating damage could become a problem for me. Here's 4. They do have 2 basic planes. Skyclave Apparition is still pretty good. Okay, they didn't do anything. I'll just go to my turn then. I go to 8. Don't love it. Alright, Planar Nexus, and I should use my shittiest lands. 1, 2... I have stuff to do with colors, so I am actually going to tap my Eye of Ugin here. Silex for 3. And then Ugin can gain life. 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh wait, hold on. Can I cast Emrakul here? That's probably better. 5, 10. Yes, okay. I'll just cast Emrakul the Aeon Storm. How about that? I know they have Caracas, which is a someday problem, but if they let me take unlimited turns, I think I can figure it out. I have to navigate the One Ring along the way, but that's okay. We got this. If they bounce Emrakul once, then Caracas isn't untapped for the next round. All right, move into combat. Something's happening. Oh, is this Solitude? I'll take 15 life. Oh, yeah. That's fine. Deal. 15 life when I'm scared to tap my One Ring. Done. I got other ways to win. Okay, second main now with this massive bounty of life total. Ugin, exile Solitude. Ugin, gain life, draw a card. Can play a Beseiju because I have plenty of lands now. Backup Silex. Nothing to exile. Disappointing. My cup runneth over. Okay, pass the turn. I can Snapcaster Crop Rotation from here if I need to. Or they can concede. Let's go. All right, main deck Magus of the Moon, not even close to an issue between the Silexes and the Ugins. Cool. Dismember, probably necessary. The pressure on my life total is real, but okay. Ugin's Binding, insane here. What do I cut? Bojuka Bog can come out. That's just... I'm not going to cut too many lands, because any land could cast Simic Signet or turn into Crop Rotation, but -1 Bog seems fine. And my deck's just pretty good against Death and Taxes already. Maybe 1 Snapcaster Mage, and I don't need all 3 Dismembers. Yeah, I'll do that. This is another slow, grindy matchup that's about resource accumulation, and we are good at beating decks like that. It was kind of slow, stinky hand. It does have Disruptor Flute, which can name most of the things in the Death and Taxes deck. I'm going to go a little harder, though. Okay, I will keep this in bottom Ulamog. I understand this is off to a wasteland, but it has a lot of choices beyond that. Plains. Vial. Post, pass. Moment of Truth. My list does not have room for Karn the Great Creator, which is stock in all the big mana decks in Legacy. It's just, you can't play everything, and that's what lost. Stoneforge Mystic, alright. Bring in the beats. Cauldron Complete, Ugin's Binding lines up well against that. Wow, that's so much better. How much better is it? It's not... It matters, but sandbagging it and playing Signet this turn is fine. And then, even if they draw Wasteland, both of these lands pop off with Planar Nexus from hand. A Vial on 2. I'll have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana next turn. That's enough to stock up and Binding. Here's Cauldron. I go to 15. Planar Nexus. You're in there. 1, 2, 3. Stock up. And then... Oh, wait. I have to use one of them to filter, right? 3. No, this works. Yeah, okay. I still have Ugin's Binding available. Or Kozilek's Command is a busted card. Hold on. Kozilek's Command can exile the Germ token, and I get to keep Ugin's Binding. Yeah, I'm just going to exile Germ, draw a card. Target player draws a card, exile this creature. That might have been available last turn. Just exile the Stoneforge and not deal with this, but I have so many ways to deal with this that it's fine. I drew another Nexus. And I could just stock up now, or I could hold Ugin's Binding. What am I waiting for? I'm going to stock up. Leave green in the pool in case I find a crop rotation. And I did. Ugin, Eye of the Storms, and I don't really want to crop rotate, though. I do have another Planar Nexus if I want to get super rowdy. I could get Signet. That gives me a bunch of mana options under a moon. I can play Ugin anyway. And taking Signet over these cards feels so weak, but also there's a reasonable path to do it. I will take Signet, actually. It's weird, but it happened. There it is. This is the second time in recent memory I've played Signets in Legacy. And both times I think it was right. A Johnny, okay. And step Fetch. Elegant Parlor. Dump to Caracas. Yeah, their hand has to be really good here. I'm 1 mana short of Ugin's Binding and a 7-drop, but Ugin's Binding's also a colorless spell. So I could play Ugin, make 3 colorless, Ugin's Binding, bounce something, exile 2 other things. There's a lot of meat on this bone right now. Magus of the Moon. I am largely unbothered by that. Urza's Tower. That makes this even better, because now I have 7 mana after bouncing Magus. Oh my god. Okay, 1, 2, 3. And I can't pass priority because they can just vial this back in, but it's happening. And they're losing all their permanents. All right, Ugin's on the stack. I think I should be able to stack these triggers so I get an exile. Yes, all right. So I can exile Stoneforge Mystic before bouncing everything else. And there's no sequence with Aether Vial where they can have Magus of the Moon in after Binding resolves. Yeah, we just got a GG's. Okay, sweet. Yeah, that was pretty decisive, and shrugging off main deck Moon and then beating the sideboard Moon as well. This feels pretty good. On to the next round.
This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks. And groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there.
I'm on the play in round 3 versus my Eternal Glory podcast co-host, Bryant Cook. He is a known Storm gamer. This makes my mulligans complicated. I would love to just keep this hand, but I can't. I'm in the market for a Disruptor Flute or a Silex, just something that does anything. It's going to be tough. The Epic Storm is his main deck, but he is also a YouTube creator, so could be playing anything in the combo zone. All right. I don't love this, but it's what we got. Bottom. Ugin's Binding, and Basic Forest. This hand does get to pretend it's something else for a minute. Just Tropical Island Go. This is normal BoshNRoll stuff. This is not. Ancient Tomb. We've been betrayed. Defense Grid. Alright, well, that resolves. Alright, it's not the Epic Storm, but it is something. I guess I'm going to just crop rotation for Cloudpost. Is Cloudpost even more mana than Tower? It's not, right? Yeah, I'll get Tower, play Trop, and the Beatdown Snapcaster Mage. I don't feel good about this, but we have to win somehow. A mana short of crop rotting again. If I can just create pressure underneath. Oh, is this Tony Scaponi's Ruby Storm build? Interesting if true. Planar Nexus. This gives me Kozilek's Command for, that's 3, 4, 5 mana, cost 3 more. Kozilek's Command for 0 is live right now. Ral Monsoon Mage. Defense Grid saving the day here. Kozilek's Command would have been the guy. Okay, Rite of Flame. Lost the coin flip, take 1. Reckless Impulse. Flip Defense Grid and Mountain. That's not very good, I hope. Did hit the land drop. Another Impulse. If we fade Rituals for like 5 more hits, Jessica's Will and Ruby. Can cast the Will, but it's only for 2. And Ruby Pass is something we can game with. Ruby. And these are until the end of your next turn, so Jessica's Will is live. Caracas bouncing Ral. Or I think I just have to command it. Okay, 3, 4. Scry X, draw a card, exile target creature. Cloudpost, Glimmer Post. These are not what I want. Bottom. Boseiju would do a lot here. Alright. I guess I'm playing Caracas in case there's another Ral. But we're probably dead to the Ruby already. Ren's Resolve from hand, hit 2 lands. Okay. The fail rate is our win rate here. Mountain from exile. Probably going to Jessica's Will to see 3 cards. Unless the hand is good enough, but it's spend 2 mana to make 2 mana. That's not even good. Yeah, exile top 3. Rite of Flame, Ren's Resolve. Opponent can see at least 2 more cards here. Rite of Flame with 1 already in the graveyard. Jessica's Will is just until end of turn. It's not until the end of next turn. Burning Wish, yuck. Alright. Well, that's probably good enough. Will of the Jeskai, a new card. Choose 1. If you have a commander, you can choose both. Each player may discard their hand and draw 5. Each instant and sorcery card in your graveyard gains flashback until end of turn. Okay, well, that's really good. Yep, the Kozilek's Command not available to beat up this graveyard. This should be an easy win from here. Alright, well, here's Ral. Oh, come on! It didn't give me... alright. I clicked through priority to bounce that. It doesn't matter, he has enough mana to replay it, but yeah, can never win from there. Alright. This deck doesn't draw cards, so Hullbreacher's not very good. Tormod's Crypt matters. Dismember matters if they play Ral. Hullbreacher can get the beats down. Ugin's Binding could clean up a Ruby or something like that. Karn's Silex does not matter. I mean, Karn's Silex could kill a bunch of rubies and stuff if I can survive a turn to get that far. I don't think we're Ulamogging. Majuka Bog has relevant text. Mistrise Village mostly doesn't. It does tap for blue, though. Ugin is very slow. Yeah, what if... I don't really want to play Leyline of the Voids in my deck, but they did just shred me through the graveyard. Cutting off the graveyard as a line is at least something useful. Yeah, I don't think Silex is very good. Can I get the Leylines in? Well, that's all Silex is out, all Leylines in, plus Hullbreacher, which is mostly just a 3-2 because my opponent's deck doesn't actually draw cards. Alright. I don't love this, but it's what we got. This is a turn 2 Disruptor Flute, and then potentially another Disruptor Flute. I'll go with it. I did consider putting some Mindbreak traps in the sideboard of this, and then talk myself out of it. But this is a matchup where they'd be useful. I don't think this deck has a Blood Moon pivot, and I hope it doesn't, because I'm not ready for that. Ruby Medallion. Alright, that is there. It's in play. Planar Nexus can play Simic Signet, and then Simic Signet can play Disruptor Flute. What do I name? I was going to name Ruby, but now here we are. I could name Burning Wish at some point. Jessica's Will probably would have been my blind name. Oh, well, there's that. All right, choosing to make mana for each card in my hand. I'm going to respond by getting a card out of my hand for one. And then I'll name Burning Wish with this flute. All right, I hope you needed that. F6. 5 mana available. Rite of Flame, Seething Song. Could just pay through a Burning Wish. Yeah, just paid the extra 3. There's no window where they can Burning Wish for something and then you can name it with flute before they have a chance to play it, unless they do something else in between, which is just bad magic. Same with the bottle cards. Like if they Reckless Impulse and you see the 2 cards, they have priority first to cast one of them. It is one of those moments that might haunt me. Jessica's Will is the card I would have blind named with flute if I had played it on my own turn, but that's just one of many cards they play. I don't know. All right, Will of the Jeskai, going back through the graveyard. 2 cards left in hand. Will bottled 3 blanks. Okay. Already use your land drop, and Defense Grid does not move you forward here. Defense Grid is down. That at least plays around Kozilek's command. And we get a turn. Okay, another Cloudpost gives me 3, 4, 5 mana. I'm going to stock up and then play another flute, I think. Just got to figure out what my flute's going to name. Hey, Eye of Ugin is a win con eventually, and Snapcaster Mage literally does anything. I could Disruptor Flute naming Jessica's Will. I have to flute something. I can name Ral, but they already have a Ruby. Jessica's Will named with the second one. I put these squeeze on. Mountain from hand, 2 cards left. Will of the Jeskai. Do I want to discard and draw 5? I actually don't. Stock up and Kozilek's command are 2 of the better cards I could have. Discarded a Burning Wish. We did it. The Disruptor Flute actually did probably save me that turn. Never happy when my opponent draws 5, though. Okay, Reckless Impulse bottled a Ruby and a Seething Song. Cloudpost worth a bunch of mana here. Eye of Ugin worth no mana here. Okay, Cloudpost. And so these all tap for 4. I have 10 mana. -3, I have 7, which means I can Kozilek's command for 5 on my opponent's turn, if I think that's what I want to be doing. I could also stock up now and try to resolve something like the One Ring that would probably buy me a turn. Okay, I'm going to stock up. Leyline of the Void that I cannot cast. Boseiju can blow up Medallion. Hull Breacher doesn't matter. Okay, I'm taking Boseiju. That's definitely happening. Oh, there's another Ruby in exile, though. Double Ruby's better than 1. And I have mana to Boseiju floating now. Like, blowing up Grid would let me pass with Kozilek's command up, but it also ramps my opponent. All right, I'll take Boseiju and I guess Hull Breacher. I just don't think this Urza's Tower is going to help me this game. All right, blow up Defense Grid. This does get a land for my opponent. Kozilek's command for 3 is available. Or Hull Breacher, if that's somehow useful. Second Ruby. Everything's basically free now. Seething Song. Oh, Will of the Jeskai. If they do the wheel part, Hull Breacher's pretty good. Burning Wish for a bunch of extra mana. Alright, Ral is not lethal yet. Opponent lost the flip. Burning Wish resolves. Jessica's Will. Wow, just disrespectful of this Disruptor Flute. Cast Burning Wish into it. Got Jessica's Will. Both of these cost more, but opponent doesn't care. Another Ancient Tomb. Alright, so Ral enters with additional loyalty for each instant and sorcery you've cast this turn. He goes off at 8, and the base is 2. So we need Storm needs to be 6. It's currently 5. Alright, I don't need to interact with Ral yet. Won the flip, but it's too early to flip him. Yeah, left him down. That's fine. We'll hit 2 more rubies and a mountain. This is not action. This is just stuff. Rite of Flame. Okay, I have to interact with Ral here. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Kozilek's command. Exile target creature. Exile up to X cards from graveyards. Ral and Will. Or is Burning Wish scarier than a Will? Impulse might be actually scarier. Okay. Jessica's Will, Reckless Impulse, Burning Wish, exiled. That's 3 Burning Wishes used. 1 card left in hand. 1 the flip. All right. That was the right moment to interact. Got plenty of mana. What is that last card in your hand, and can it flip this second Ral? Yeah, we got to a turn. And guess what? The thing. Snapcaster Kozilek's Command, now actually live. The impetus for the challenge is here. 4, 5 mana. Yeah, I'm doing it. Snapcaster target Kozilek's Command. Because I have another Kozilek's Command in my hand. Exile target creature with mana value X or less. Exile up to X cards from graveyards. No, I think I actually want to draw cards here. Exile target creature, target player scries X draws a card. All right, that's better. And because of Eye of Ugin, I get a little extra here. I'm just going to go for 3. A 1 ring and another command. Bottom, top. All right, that's gone. 1 ring's in. Draw a card. And pass with a bunch of gas in the tank. Bonus at 9 life already. We're doing it, team. End step, I'm just going to add some pressure to the board with this Hull Breacher. Oh, yeah. Let's go. All right. Got to do that again. A lot of things had to go right there. Opponent had to whiff on 2 different bullets and had to have specific interaction, whatever. But we take them. I feel like there might be something with the Karn Silex that I'm just not fully dialed in on, but I don't see it. I don't know what it is. I don't think I'm going to do it. I'm going to submit the same deck again. I've got a Leyline, not really much else, but I am going to keep. I think this is enough to start a game with. I just need a land that taps for mana, and I'm in. Ancient Tomb, Ruby, any land. Hull Breacher is not it. I'm at 21. Good luck overcoming that wall of life. Seething Song. We're doing something here. Might just empty the Warrens on me or play that new dragon that has Storm, but you can't Burning Wish for a dragon. Yeah, just empty the Warrens for 8 would be pretty effective here. Defense Grid. Okay, I wasn't going to cast spells anyway. Burning Wish. And here we go. Jessica's Will. That's not what I thought was going to happen. Right, that's good for a gajillion mana. And just wished. Oh, I am going to get dragon. That was actual wish. Yeah, the Dragon Lord with Storm is live right now. And no Ugin's Binding in sight. Will of the Jeskai. Do I want to discard my hand and draw 5 cards? I kind of do, actually. Yes. Yes, I do. It got worse. It didn't get worse. It's about the same. Man, Hull Breacher would have got him, though. Obviously, saying a 3-mana card would have got my opponent who's going off on turn 2 is a big stretch. But he must not have a dragon or an Empty the Warrens kind of effect, or this would have just happened, right? Ral and another Burning Wish, both of which are castable right now. Storm is 8. If he wins the Burning Wish flip, then Ral is a Planeswalker ready to shred. Won the flip! Oh no, it's happening. All my luck from last round is over. Now he can -8, exile the top 8 cards of your library, cast any instant and sorceries among them. Obviously, in constructing the deck, they are aware that Graveyard Hate exists and is plentiful in the format. Oh, Galvanic Relay is not what somebody does who is planning to win right now. All right, Ral flipped. Manamorphose, Ren's Resolve, Reckless Impulse, Ren's Resolve, and Burning Wish. All right, whatever's happening is happening. It's a lot of defense grids. And Galvanic Relay will exile more than half of his deck. I could get Gut Chat here. Wish. Storm is 19. There's 1 life from Glimmerpost, actually, the difference between getting Gut Shot right now, but the Relay is still in hand. You can get to Storm 20 if you want. Will of the Jeskai. I would like to once again discard my hand and draw 5 cards. Yes, please. There's Ugin's Binding. We're moving in the right direction. Grape Shot. All right, there it is. Yep, just got Grape Shot through a Leyline of the Void. That makes up for the run goods in last game. On to the next round. Yeah, that matchup's always going to be tough. The 9th installment of the NYSE Vintage Open Series is coming. This 15 proxy vintage tournament with Power 9 prizes takes place on Saturday, June 14th, 2025 in Long Island, New York, and has a $500 entry fee. That's a hefty entry, but the guaranteed prizes for top 8 are Unlimited Black Lotus, Ancestral Recall, Time Walk, and all 5 Moxen. The NYSE Open 8 went well for me last year. Someone better come stop me from getting another Lotus. Will it be you? I'll be at the NYSE Open 9 on June 14th, and I hope to see you there. Register on melee.gg or use the link in the video description. I'm on the play in round 4 versus Ella1, who has been on Cradle Control lately. And there's at least one Wasteland in his deck because I lost to it the other day. I'm going to keep my hand. Ugin might be a little slow here, but I do have a fast track up the mana chain. This is turn 3 Ugin. Yeah, I'm going to start with Trop and pass. Once Upon a Time. Shows Verdant Catacombs, playing it right away. Forest. Quarian Ranger. Oh, are we combo elves? Just regular old combo elves? Alright, I'm going to go to my turn. I'm going to sandbag this crop rotation and regret my life. In doing so, Urza's Tower, pass. I can still play Ugin next turn if I get a next turn. Oh, if you attack, I might just block. You weren't ready for this shit, were you? This is just like playing Fatal Push. A Swamp. And a White of the Reliquary. That could tutor Wastelands in the future. Oh, not anymore. Okay. Planar Nexus. I'm going to flute and name White. White of the Reliquary. Take a nap. I can still cast the One Ring this turn also. Yeah, I'll do that. How about that? Crop rotation, get Urza's Tower, the One Ring, to rule them all, and Kozilek's Command. That is a removal spell versus this deck full of creatures. Scythecat Cub. I'm going to exile my opponent's board next turn. Maybe not the Birds of Paradise. You can keep that one. Attacking to send a message. I respect it. Cloudpost. All right, I'm going to draw with the ring first and see where we are. All right. We are in a pretty good spot. Ugin, exile, Scythecat Cub. Make 3 mana. Yeah, I am going to exile the whole board. Kozilek's Command, exile bird, draw a card. And when I cast this, I exile white. Bang, 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 bang. That's the sound Ugin makes. Feels good. Okay, Dismembers are coming in. Silex is dope. Disruptor Flute is pretty dope. I have to survive the early turns. Bajuka Bog could pseudo fog the White of the Reliquary, but that's not actually something I'm going to take seriously. Not compared to having useful cards in my deck. I think I need Emrakul for the top end. Silex is great. Flute's great. Maybe I cut one Signet here. Ugin's Binding, awesome. Yeah, I think a Snapcaster is going to go. All right, here we go. Oh, Cursed Totem. This is like the whole reason this card's in the deck. All right, never mind. Cursed Totem, I need 2 more slots. Ulamog does function in bridging the gap in like that middle zone where you don't have 15 mana yet, but you have a lot more than 6. But so does Ugin and Kozilek's Command. So I'm going to play without Ulamog here. And maybe I go down 1 stock up. I don't think I want to cut another Signet. I definitely can't cut a crop rotation. Snapcaster is actually better now that I have Dismember in the deck. Yeah, I'm going to cut a stock up. This is the plan. Dismember, Snap, Dismember. Already a plan. I'll keep a Bayou. Not a Thoughtseize. Not with green mana. Urza's Tower. Okay. Now I have some more mana. I'm not going to Dismember the Ignoble Hierarch, because I can go over the top of their mana. I don't think I'm going to screw them here. Hardcasting Once Upon a Time. That was clearly the draw for the turn, or it would have been played last turn. Underground Mortuary. Okay. If they're coming out this slow, maybe I will Dismember this Hierarch. Viseju Who Endures. I'll play Urza's Tower just in case I draw a Planar Nexus next turn. Thoughtseize. Well, let's get some damage on the board. You can take one of my rings. Sylvan Safekeeper. Karn Silex, let's go. I'm going to attack. Opponent missed a land drop entirely. And Karn Silex will turn off future fetch lands. Cool. Thoughtseize still works. You don't lose the life until the resolution of the spell. It's not a cast to cost it. Cost to cast it? Cast to cost it? Kiss to cast to cost to costa? It's not a Costa Costa. Thoughtseize still works. Disruptor Flute. All right. that can name the One Ring, or Eye of Ugin, or Karn Silex. What are you most worried about? All right, named Silex. So I can't Wrath, but my opponent also cannot fetch. All right, Boseiju, One Ring, get to work. Race is on now. Ugin's in hand. Attacking to send a message again. You got to stand for something in this world. Phasing out my Snapcaster Mage. That'll be back in my upkeep. Another Flute. This locks down the ring. Sure. Disruptor Flute. Stocks high in this metagame. Okay. Attack with Snapcaster. Continue racing. Kozilek's Command, not very good here because they have the Sylvan Safekeeper. I'm just going to make X draw X probably. Didn't attack this time. Suddenly worried about it. All right. Make X draw X. I'm going to cast Ugin this turn. Ugin's Binding in the mix. All right. Planar Next. All of these cards are good. Okay. The Binding. Where do I get to do this? Oh my god. I'm so excited. Okay. Kozilek's Command on top. Ugin's Binding on top of that. And then Planar Nexus on top of that. Just top. The full nuts. Planar Nexus. Worth 5 mana on this board. Okay. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. I'm going to Ugin's Binding the Disruptor Flute that's on the One Ring. Or do I actually want to bounce these? I guess I do. I'm going to try to bounce White of the Reliquary first and see if they fall for it. Because if they sack a land here, I just get to bounce it anyway when I cast Ugin. And my opponent's been missing land drops. Yeah, on the hook. Oh no, my spell was fizzled. What will I do now? Whatever will I do? Boosh. All right, target the Safekeeper first. See if you want to sack a land just to get this bounce instead. We got a the fuck is this deck fucking strong in the chat. Yeah, I mean, this has performed well above expectation and definitely against anyone trying to do anything fair. On to the final round. The BoshNRoll channel is proudly partnered with the Resleevables.
Good. All right, here we go, gang.
In this YouTube series, hosts Cedric Phillips and Patrick Sullivan take us on a set-by-set journey through the good, the bad, and the ugly of Magic's history. Each episode is a focused deep dive into the facts about a set's design and release, the Magic lore expressed through the cards in that set, Tournament Edition gameplay videos featuring products and Pro Tour decks of the era, an award show that shouts out the best and weirdest cards of the set, and a final grade for the set's overall success. Whether you want a history lesson or a nostalgia hit, The Resleevables has it at youtube.com/theresleevables. I'm on the draw in the final round. Positive records locked. Bread and butter 4-1 on the line. I'm going to keep this hand. It is not particularly explosive, but it is playing cards on time and does like as many normal things as this deck can do with a lot of upside. All right, we're playing against Delver. Another Signet. I'm going to lead on Trop because I'm actually more interested in keeping Urza's Tower if there's a Wasteland coming. A proper Wasteland strategy, and there it is. All right, I'm going to float a blue. Wish I had the crop rotation here. First chance it would have come up, and it wasn't here. Delver is not a deck that can recur its Wastelands. If it just naturally draws 3 of them, that'll be disappointing. Another one. But it's not like they have Loam or Witherbloom Command or anything to loop them crazy. Oh my god. Well, if they get Delirium, I die instantly. Oh. Okay. Urza's Tower, Simic Signet. Something is innocuous as a Daze here, triggering 3 Surveils. Yeah, there it is. There's no way you could play around that, because they would have dazed something that even if I could have paid for it, they would have dazed it to get the Insado Surveil action. But they found something worth keeping. My bet is it's a Ponder or Brainstorm. Maybe they keep Wasteland here, but they're not hitting very hard, but Ponder or Brainstorm, okay. And they took the right land, too, unfortunately. If I'd played Mysterized Village last turn, I could have still played Signet now. Fudge. Yeah, that was me. I blew that one. Oh, no. Oh, okay, Delver. That's not a Ponder. I'm so close to death. Land, untapped land. Stock up. Yeah, this would have been the turn I could cast Karn Silex if I had sequenced my lands differently, and then it would have untapped next turn. I need them to just draw like 3 lands in a row. Oh no. I'm so dead. Murktide in the graveyard. They still don't have Delirium yet. They need a artifact or sorcery to end up there. Right, they left a card on top, which means Delver's going to flip. Revealing Brainstorm. That's still not Delirium. This is 5 damage. I am basically dead at this point. Yeah, this is the turn I would have been able to activate Karn Silex if I had sequenced correctly. All right. I deserve that. But that was also the double Wasteland Obliteration start out of Delver. We know that's going to be tough. All right, Silex is great. Ugin's Binding is good. Kozilek's Command is good. I think Emrakul is a little too crunchy. Simic Signet, I'd rather have Carpet of Flowers between the two. Snapcaster, a little dopey here. I don't think I want Dismembers. Hull Breacher does have some upside, but I think I gotta focus on just doing my thing here. Disruptor Flute on Wasteland matters a lot. Yeah, I'm just gonna try to play my game, let the Wrath's Wrath get my mana under me. But like I said, that did actually come down to a missequence. And even though, like, a lot of players would walk away from that game like, yeah, I just got my head kicked in and there was nothing I could do, but there blatantly was something I could do, and it's just play the land that guarantees to come into play untapped. Okay, I'm going to mulligan this hand. I don't just want to hit land drops. I want to go a little harder now that I know what I'm playing against. All right, I'm in for this. Keep and bottom. Probably Signet is the card I need the least here. All right, Signet to the bottom. And I'm going to play Planar Nexus. I have 2 of them. If this gets wastelanded, it's not the worst, but I get to gain an extra life if I play this one first. Channeler. Now I have to decide when and how I want to play around days. I think I want to Disruptor Flute, naming Wasteland right now, because if they daze this, it's not a big deal, because then I can resolve Carpet next turn, and I don't care so much if I get wasted. All right. Can't pay. Volcanic Island's back. Delver's in. Ugin, Eye of the Storm. I think I want to save Glimmerpost to gain even more life down the road, and I'll just cast Carpet of Flowers now. Worth a Force of Will to you. Cool. I'll take that. That means I can gain 4 life and stock up next turn. Been to Murktide. They have Delirium. Did not flip Delver. Tap land. Cool. 3 cards left. Kept the card on top. Bobble. That means they're just going to keep keeping the card on top, though. Another Delver. All right, deck. It would be a great time to draw a Karn Silex. Or a One Ring. Protect me from this shit. Bobbled me. Okay, Glimmerpost, gain a bunch of life. And then stock up. I could have played Tropical Island to play around days, but I'm just going to hope they don't have a daze. Okay. Multiple Kozilek's commands now available, or an Ugin's Binding. Crop rotating. I think I want Kozilek's commands, both of them. Yeah, command is what I'm going to do here. I'm just under a lot of pressure. And I'm going to have to figure out Ugin another way. A bevy of upkeep triggers. Brainstorm, at least not Lightning Bolt. I'm taking 9, but I was at 10. Or I'm at 21. I've gained 6 extra life this game from my lands. Alright, don't keep adding pressure. Brainstorm. And I got to my turn. Another Kozilek's command is cool. Okay, I will go into their turn before I do anything. They have 5 card types in the graveyard. What are the most unique of them? We've got 1 artifact, 1/2 creatures, 1 artifact, 1 sorcery. Okay, here's my plan. 1, 2, 3, 4. X equals 2. Exile target creature, exile X cards from graveyards. Exile Delver and Ponder and Mishra's Bauble. I played around days as much as I can here. They had Force. Okay. Fair enough. If we're having a 3 pieces of free permission game, then so be it. And they have Lightning Bolt. All right. Well, that was a quick exit. A positive record, though, with a deck that is pretty wild to behold. I guess it's not that wild because this is just the proven Cloudpost deck that a lot of people have been working really hard on for years and is really good. But I did just jam a bunch of cards in it without a ton of testing or work. For what it's worth, I think having stock up in here is really cool. Ugin is awesome. Ugin just definitely earned his slot to me. Stock up was awesome. Ugin's binding was cool in spots. Sometimes I got rid of it or couldn't cast it because it's a 3-mana bounce spell on the front, but if you ever get to the back, it will probably win the game. Outside of the Brew challenge, where Snapcaster Kozilek's command was the mission I was given, it doesn't make sense to have Snapcaster in the deck. If you want to be this Simic, Ugin's Binding, stock up lands deck, this is just 3 more slots you can work with for exciting cards. But as far as the deck itself went, anyone who wanted to play 4 or 5 turns of Magic got obliterated, and I lost through a ley line on turn 2 to Ruby Storm, and we lost to a miss sequence, like a punt against a Delver Nut Draw, and then we lost to the second Delver Nut Draw, where they actually just had me beat. This felt honestly dope. I can get behind this. I'm looking forward to casting Ugin, Eye of the Storms, more on the channel. There are several decks in my queue that use him. This was today, the first day that Card Hoarder had him available to rent, and I just jumped right in here on Titania's list. Titania, thank you for creating the conditions that led to whatever this is. This was a lot of fun and might actually be kind of real. Everybody else, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, check out the Patreon, and I will see you next time.